Hi, I'm so grateful to Rebecca for inviting me to be part of this reading series. I'm going to read some poems from my book To Cleave and also some newer poems written in the last year and a half. I've been thinking a lot about what I'm grateful for and what has sustained me through these challenging months. And family is a big part of that what has kept me going. Two daughters, a husband, a good dog, and my parents who are no longer alive. So the first poem that I'm going to read is from my book To Cleave. And it is the poem that inspired the title of the book. While she slept, her husband made chai. While she slept, her husband made chai to cleave, crack, splinter, stick fast to. Crushed cardamom, clove, peppercorn. It was for a purpose, mortar and pestle, his wrist scooped into black tea. Not a man of kitchens. He smashed black star tips, late kitchen, dim kitchen, black kitchen. She'd blunder into walls while he slept. Chai steeped. Her hands held out as if it were her mother's spice brownies she wanted. Mother and her spices on plastic spinners. All over the house, flies settled, little clove flies, star cow, cloven child. How soft night was. Clove darts into orange flesh, that pleasure. A whole language of the cloven, the cleaved. I grew up with a great dad who was a wonderful storyteller. And he would make up bedtime stories and tell them to me. And I'm an insomniac, so there's much longing for a return to his being at my bedside. This is a poem that came out of a dream about him and a girl whose face was scarred badly. It's called Dream Ode to the Sleep of Long Ago. I can't forget the dreamed girl's scratched face or my dream dad out back chatting with smokers. Wind witching wrappers, garbage cans tipped downhill, dogs raving past midnight. Haunted by that fast scabbing girl, I am insomniac minus father to ease me down. I fear she might revisit a next night. It would be easy to be hurtled by a wind such as this, force like a last prayer into a wall chink. Yet, I muse, yet, the dogs have it gnawed down to the hollow and still want more. Oh, that I might be daddy's beach girl again, share his kite, his grin, and sea chanties at my back, sand crusted and sunburnt, hosed down, fed and fabled. There you are, my salt-eyed pretzel. Not so bleary, not so unblessed. Scarred dream girl dismantled, and a story coming on father's lips to please your curliness. Off you go, hopping eddies. Every wind has a dress she slips into, not a stitch too loose. Down you go, dear miss. Bees in the buttonholes, berries round the hem. So he begins. So I have two daughters who are grown, and they're 4.5 years apart. They're good friends right now, but they haven't always been. There's always been an ebb and flow of that friendship. This poem is called Sisters Consider Repair. They'd straddled apple trees as girls, knew the whiff of powder pink, the tight bud, the sister business, licking each other's scraped knees, pins twisted through lobes, peeling back scabs, filthy fists knocking the other's chest. Once, when they dared to fly off the flat roof, the first landed and caught the younger, but they no longer climbed and fell. They crafted a tale. In turns, they'd suck the other's demons. Older's bitter, swallowed by the younger's doubt, gulped by her sibling. One would bite down and leach from her sister's flesh comings and drownings. The other would twist the blistered burn into a gut-thin pouch. Fifth breast, she'd glue between two chests. Just so, replenish and compress distance. And this for my husband. Afterlife. My husband sleeps in our long gone daughter's bed because he is sick with the common cough and breathing is tough. I have the big bed to spread in and write, and tonight I love him. One day things will get serious. We will be forced from each other's common living. Dead, we will rendezvous, one bed, books pushed aside to make room, his head clear and my hands free of paper and pen, and what is said will be all. So I'm going to read 3 more poems that are newer, that have been written in the last year and a half. This was a tough time for writing. There were times when nothing was happening. I wasn't writing at all. Other times I was writing every day. But that feeling of not writing is a scary thing for a writer. You think you're never going to write again. This poem is titled, In Which the Poet Addresses Lack. Dear hostage, dear interruption, dear unspent ink, dear kitchen of half-baked, unrisen, and refusal to set, dear poems that once upon a current tumbled cold and clear, dear shy tremble, dear bitter, best I can do, yearning and plea, once I was and am no longer, lost dream, last chance, hoard and rot, snippet, fragment, phrase that came to naught, knots that will not unravel, once grease and salve, I am fumble, distractible, and doubt. Buffet of too many dishes, what my mother knew by heart, what my daughter improvised, my plate grows cold, waiting to be prayed over. Chef nor poet, I puzzle what might nourish, spin imagination, and heal. Bleary, inundated reader, weary, COVID rankled muse. What world needs more words? So this next poem is called Prayer Eventually. A black bear roams my neighborhood, topples hives, pushes through fences. Drunk on water set out for birds, honeybees, hover sage, burrow bacopa. It is the summer of 2020. The snake that curves my sill is Pituophis catenifer, lover of gopher, mouse, and egg. Quail hustle plumed young from pinon cover into danger. Hummingbirds use terror tactics to force fellow feeders from nectar. A lone coyote sidles the far field. Hungry, we watch finch nestlings fledge. Walking, we count lizard, 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 fenced tree, whiptail, one common cottontail, one crushed kit. A neighbor's night camera records bobcat, raccoon, deer, mephitis, mephitis, night after night, its musk plagues our sheets. My black and white mutt, moonlit dervish howls at a mystery I can neither hear nor see. A half moon reddens, retreats behind clouds. I refrain from comparing to anything. In dream, I point, say to my husband, great blue heron? Its feathered crest wind-racked, its long legs knee-cobbled and thin. Months we have been forced home. We list, embellish, make of shrunken habitat a praise poem. And my last poem was a poem I wrote in response to the many images of bread that we were seeing on the internet, people baking bread, people eating bread, people sharing bread recipes. This is called Bread in the Time of COVID-19. Spelt, levain, bouche, cracked arc, golden yurt, baguettes, bark, canoe, challahs, fat hips. Unbraid and eat in a dark kitchen, in bed under cover, on the back step at dawn. It's relentless, craving, as if breast, as if moss and mountain, as if cool walking pond and dew. Black bread of my ancestors, manna that bandages, banned non-essential, mold inducer, cause of the doughy midriff. Multi-seed and local, equal opportunity, factory bagged and trucked cross state, waited in line for neighbor to neighbor bread. Fill our rooms with rising, scent of a future, eyes closed, teeth into Christ bread, Jehovah bread, bread of Allah, bread of children, bread of refusal, bread of my seclusion and yours. Oh, crust, tough as a belt that holds us together, crisp as ice that shatters into song. Yeast, water, salt, what Moses survived without. I am ravenous. Loaf of COVID, loaf of grief, loaf of what's offered and what's stolen. May there be bread of a new year, challah round as a labyrinth, strewn with cinnamon and raisins, maize of our craving, bread of our saving. Thank you.